Welcome to Illini Guys Halftime Live. This is Mike Kegley with Hedrick Prince. We are looking at an Illini being down by 37 to 29. Ted, I actually thought that the Illini came from behind fairly well, and they even have had opportunities to get this game even closer.
Mike, they can't shoot. They just can't shoot. This is a poor shooting basketball team. This Rutgers team, they're winning right now. I give them credit. They're ahead 37 to 29. Illinois just can't shoot to me. It's frustrating, and this was for me the one thing that I hung my hat on, thinking how well this team could shoot. Rutgers is not a great basketball team. I mean, yeah, they may have two NBA lottery guys on their team, but Illinois right now, they are, I believe, is 2 for 17 from three. You have to make threes, and they're open looks. Some of them are contested. They just are, but you're shooting just an abysmal percentage from three. And, then you have guys walking up to the free throw line, missing free throws. KJ gets fouled. If you're not going to make threes, you got to walk up to the line, especially if you're an 80% free throw shooter. You have to make those. Again, Rutgers is not, I'm not impressed with them. I mean, and obviously because the record is not very good, but this is just one of those days. I think right now, if Illinois can't pull this out, this is going to be the worst loss of the year to me because of the inability to put the ball in the basket. You have open looks and they just don't fall, and that's not a coaching thing. I'm not mad at the coaching. That I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to hear anything about the officiating. They just have to make shots, guys.
Brad?
I just don't understand I don't know what they're trying to do on offense. The first, I thought their offensive philosophy at the beginning of this game was just brutal. Like, I don't even know what they're trying to do. It's the same thing. Guys just dribbling around the perimeter. Nobody's stacking the basket. It was just terrible for the first 7 or 8 minutes. So it's very disappointing to see that. I don't know why that was. I don't know what their game plan was. And yeah, they were 2 for 17 from three, but that's hard to do. And here's the thing. Teams are just leaving guys open.
Yes.
Why would you guard them? Well, that's what I'm saying. Why do you guard them? They can't make a shot. I mean, it's almost like my defensive philosophy is just I'm not leave Illinois open because they can't score. No, I don't know. The other thing is they just turn the ball over every time that seems like they have a chance to kind of get back in it. They have 7 turnovers, which isn't a huge number, but it seems like every time they have an opportunity to kind of get back into it, they'll turn it over for no reason or just making it just an abysmal pass. I posted this on Twitter. But they're shooting. I mean, Ked mentioned shooting. It's not just like it's a long stretch. I mean, KJ's like 4 for his last 28 or something.
Yes, I saw that too, Brad.
And Boswell's 2 for his last 18. Hummerkaus was 1 for his last 12. Now he's 2 for his last 14 or whatever because he made one. Trey White was 1 for his last 13. I mean, this is just abysmal shooting. I mean,
yes.
And so if you can't, but my question is, why do we keep shooting them? If you can't shoot them, and
because
I just don't.
What you said, Brad, you said it. They're wide open.
They're leaving them open. I get it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got to try something different.
Get to the rim. I wouldn't do it. I would take 2 or 3 dribbles in. You're right. Nebraska started it. They were the team that did it. And yeah, they don't defend the three well, but they dare them to shoot, and teams are going to do it. It's hard. I mean, I want the listeners out there to just go back and listen to those numbers that Brad just gave us. That's horrible. I mean, it is, and there's some of those are contested. Right now, the only guy I feel comfortable shooting threes is Ibisic. I mean, he looks like they have a chance to go in, and I know his percentages aren't great the last 2 games, but guys, it's hard. It is. I mean, I don't know about you guys. We all have our own text messages and private text messages, but everybody's saying the same thing. Why can't this team just put in the damn basket? I don't get it.
It's hard to do. The other thing is, can I complain about the last play though? You get the offensive rebound, and then you literally shoot it with 10 on the clock so that Dylan Harper can then get downhill and get 2 points. You just gave them 2 points, and all you had to do was pull it back out and get the last shot. That's ridiculous. That is something that is like inexcusable basketball. You got to have more awareness than that, and that's just not. That's terrible. Yeah, Ivicic, our guy we feel the best about, he's 3 for his last 15 from 3. I mean, and he's shooting at the best at 20%. I mean, it's just stunning. It's stunning to watch.
Well, it's stunning. What's stunning is whoever the hell is saying from a statistical standpoint, like, oh, the game is won by shooting threes, so we statistically have to keep doing it. But at some point, you are what your stats say you are, and if you're the gang that can't shoot threes straight, maybe you need to do something else. I mean, it just, at some point you've got to be a little smarter than that, and ultimately, they proved last game they can get to the basket. So why not go at a team that one of the main players has an ankle injury? You have a team that there was a point in time where I thought Somerville needed oxygen on the court. You have all these opportunities out there, and yet you're going to stand from 23 feet and shoot up 17 threes. It seems like there's opportunities to do different. And I don't know if they don't see it or what, but at some point, I guess Brad's the head coach. He's going to have to figure out what he wants to do. And somebody had something in the chat that we've kind of talked about a little bit, and it is just a crazy thing, but it's almost like KJ, after that arm injury, has never gotten comfortable shooting since then, and it's almost like Curbelo after the concussion, when he could never get things right. Now, obviously, it's a different injury. We're not saying that, but just that same feeling is there, that KJ just doesn't have the confidence that he had before that fall or that injury to his left arm.
And if he's going to shoot the basket, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bradley.
I don't really blame the injury. I think it's more just he's in his head. He's thinking, trying to do too much, trying to showcase himself, and he's off. And in the Indiana game, he comes back and hits 3 threes. He scores 21 points. What do you have, 5 assists or whatever? So, then he comes, but I don't know. Then he doesn't play against Michigan State, and I think that gets in his head defensively, because he is really trying not to foul on defense, if you notice, since that game. And he hasn't been fouling, but he also hasn't been guarding anybody. And then so I think there's a whole thing. I don't know. I think this needs to – he has to do a better job of being aggressive to the basket. He doesn't drive left. I mean, we know that. I mean, he's not going to drive to the basket to his left side. And he's got to figure that out, because they know he's going to shoot a step back when he goes left. And so he's got to figure that out.
Well, on top of it, too, Brad, you mentioned turnovers. His are carelessness. They're frustrating to me, because he looked for the pick and roll, and he just thought the guy was going to be there. You go back to the Ohio State game, they had 3 turnovers, I think, in the first 5 minutes of the game, or 4 of them, 2 or 3 of them were his. I mean, he just assumes guys are going to be there. And then when he does a dribble drag screen, I mean, he just throws the ball, and it's like, just look. I mean, don't just throw it and hope a guy's there. And I know the coaches aren't going to say anything, but I know they're frustrated with it, because it's hard, it's hard to stomach it, because you're right. They make a run to get to 8 points, and then he turns it over. They get a fast break, and then they get an and one. He's 1 for 7 from the field right now. He's 3 for 5, and I do think it's in his head. I really do. But they have 7 turnovers, and he has 3 of them. It's okay to say the point guard is, the guy. They have to figure something out with him. There's a whole half left. It's not time to panic. I don't believe that. But me personally, I don't know what the hell you say to a team that can't shoot a basketball except for get to the rim, even if you're wide open, and shoot a 10-foot shot versus a 22-foot shot. I'm sorry, but like you guys said, they're open for a reason. And coaches aren't stupid. The one thing I would tell you about Big Ten coaches, I think they're the best coaches in college basketball. Anybody will tell you the way they scout and take things away from you, it's the best in the country. And this recipe, like I said before, is going to continue to happen until they make shots.
Yeah, and I think other teams, I don't blame them. I would be verbally, I would be out there laughing at these guys every time they miss one, telling them they suck. I would, you have fun with that out there. Now on the positive side, Illinois was down 11-5 early in rebounds. Now they're only down 24-22. So the pathway to playing better is clear. Get the rebounds, and then the second pathway is
Make shots.
Shoot something other than 3-pointers, I think.
Yeah. The offensive rebounds are a little bit misleading, and you consider that Ivasic blocked 3 of the offensive rebounds and right back to the guy on that first possession. So, but they were getting, it's not just rebounds, though, it's loose balls too. How many times did Illinois have a ball that gets batted around and they can't grab it? Grab the friggin' ball. So I just don't understand why they can't just grab that ball. It's just when they do that, though, you notice when they're doing that at the end of the Ohio State game, it seemed like they got all the effort plays, and the beginning of the Northwestern game, all the effort play. It's such a big part of it because it creates opportunities. And when you're missing shots, you got to do those little things. You got to create those opportunities, and they could still win this game. And much like the Nebraska game, I don't know that, they can come back. They'll hit a couple shots here. Maybe they'll get to the basket. They'll play better, I think. But you can't come out like lackadaisical just because the team's 11-11.
No, you can't. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to bite them in the butt. They got to stop doing this, or they're going to just put themselves in a tournament where they're going to be 8 or 9 seed. They're a better team than this, but right now they don't scare me. They don't. I'm just sorry. They're not a team that I worry about. You're right. They're going to make a run, and they're going to have to, and I just want them to be able to guard. And I'll tell you what, I would take advantage of Ivasic. And my comment, Mike, you always ask what I want to see in the second half. I want to see more Will Riley. I don't give a damn if you start him, but if in the 18-minute mark, put him in the game. He's aggressive. He's looking to score. He's knocking down free throws. Do whatever it takes to get him on the court and get him some minutes. That's what I would do. I don't care who sits. That's irrelevant to me right now. But to me, he needs to be on the court.
Yeah, this is a half. They're going to have to go after the ball. They're going to have to play hard, but the doorway's there. They're only down 8 points, and I don't think they necessarily played all that well, and yet they were able to keep it this close. They could have easily been blown out. Now you have to figure out what you're going to do to get more out of your team. And I don't know, how hard is it to basically tell guys, look, I want you to make the extra pass for the play on the inside instead of the 3. And then also, I don't necessarily need Kylan Boswell trying to do bitsy-do layups over guys 6'10". A few things like that. You also have to have some common sense.
Conspiracy too. He had one. Brad made a lot of good comments. He's trying to he's trying to look good, play the game. And I'll tell you what, whether he's an NBA lottery pick or not, he's sliding down the draft boards. There was a stretch where he was in 3rd or 4th. I looked at one today. He's 9th, 10th, or 11th. He's doing this to himself. So he better figure this out, because every game he does this and he had those careless turnovers, he's costing himself money. Play the game. And I'll tell you what, he doesn't go up strong to the basket either, because there's a couple. He's kind of, and that's that European basketball. I get it. He's a finesse player. But you look at Bailey and Harper, they're aggressive athletes.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, those guys get to the – but I think some of it, he lacks athleticism. It's just I think that's probably the one knock on him. He's not a great vertical athlete, but but at the same time, he's really good. I think he's really good. He's really talented. He's just got to figure himself out a little bit, and hopefully he gets it figured out. Coming up, because if he does, this team can go a long way. But if he doesn't, then they need him. So
they do. There's no doubt. So any final thoughts here before the second half starts, Brad and Ked?
Make shots. That's about it. Make some damn shots. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, got to keep play hard. Shots, hopefully they start falling, and go from there.
All right, we'll be back right after the game, folks.